Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on Talladega Superspeedway for the Geico 500, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming into this weekend really emphasized wanting to see his DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated number 8 font in Victory Lane at Talladega. Of course, with the just rich history Junior has in that number 8 at this racetrack, and now the first race with this font back on a Cup Series car, he really wants to see us put it in Victory Lane, and that is our goal today. Now, our goal in qualifying, well, it was bad. I didn't go anywhere. I was 40th, so I was way off the goal time of a 48.192. But of course, as you guys know, it doesn't really matter where we qualify at Talladega. So, looking up towards the front, however, you see the top 10 rounded out by Taylor Gray, and on pole, it's going to be the 28 of Bubba Wallace, joined by Tricon's Gio Ruggiero, both Tricon cars inside the top 10, as we're going to now take a look at the Craftsman Truck Series that was also racing in Talladega. Landon Huffman actually picks up the victory, and you see rounding out the top 20 Myatt Snyder. We as well have no Amazon Prime series this weekend, so Lawless Allen rounds up the field here for the trucks, and now we get to focus in on some Cup Series action. Now, one of the rumors, of course, as of late has been Chase Elliott and the potential of him starting his own Cup team, but outside of that, Alan Gustafson has made some horrible strategy calls recently on that number 9 over the last couple of races in Las Vegas and Phoenix as well, in both races where that 9 car had at the minimum a top 5 caliber car, maybe even a car that could have fought for the win, and he's thrown both of those races away. Now Talladega, different story. He gets a bit of maybe a one race break to kind of get away from the pressure, but you have to wonder if Hendrick is maybe looking at a move between Gustafson and Elliott in an attempt to keep Elliott from starting his own team and staying with Hendrick Motorsports. That's a story for another time. The green flag is out. We're racing from Talladega Superspeedway now, and the goal is to live up to Dale Jr.'s expectation today and pick up the win in this DEI number 8 font as we head down into turn 1 on this number 8 Next Level Racing Cadillac. Speaking of Next Level Racing, use my code GOIN25 with the link in the description. On your Next Level Racing order, you get a 5% discount on all your orders. As we head down this back straightaway, you got Brent Cruz back here, Nick Sanchez just in front, Bubba Wallace leads the way down the back straightaway. Of course, one career win at Talladega all the way back in 2021. As we head down into turn number 3 alongside this 31, we've got just behind help from the number 98 of Chase Briscoe as we roll through 3 and 4 now to the inside of Rajat Caruth and that number 48. Been a really up and down start to the season, really no different for Caruth. He always seems to have really rough starts to the season. But, keep in mind, we're about to be halfway through the regular season already. Time is already ticking, and the playoffs are not terribly far away. So, you got to look at the big names like Chase Elliott, who's still not in the playoffs because of Alan Gustafson's fumbles, as they've got 4 wide on the outside there. Kyle Larson, 2 wins on the season for him. He was 4 wide. They're all beating and banging there with the number 32 as well. Corey Day, the 11 of Heim in the mix as well. They all stack each other up there, and we get through into P28 as we head down this front straightaway to the end of lap 2. I'm going to jump up the racetrack. Zane Smith got hung out 4 wide. Now I'm going to cut down to his inside as we cross the stripe. 18 to go. 20 laps of racing here in stage number 1, and currently we're being led by the 34 of Eric Jones. Going to be short-lived, however. He had actually jumped up to that second lane. He's going to relinquish the lead to the Daytona 500 winner from this season, Ryan Preece. Speaking of Ryan Preece, had the fastest car of anybody in Phoenix and has a mechanical issue take him out of that race at the end of stage 1. What could have been there for Preece? But we know that Andretti Global and Ryan Preece are here to fight this season, and I would not be surprised if we see that team get multiple drivers into victory lane this season. I think Bubba Wallace is going to have the potential to do it. He was having a great race in Phoenix as well until he was unfortunately, like us, got screwed over by the Trackhouse strategy that ruined just about everybody's race. And of course, Jesse Love was able to come out on top and pick up the win nonetheless. A great win for him. he certainly went up there and he earned it. So you got to give a shout out to Jesse Love and what he has been able to do as the only Joe Gibbs winner. The brand new driver at Joe Gibbs Racing, of course, is the only winner so far this season. Now, as we continue on, trying to work our way forward here to lap 6 at this point, and we have only gotten just about to the top 25 as we're splitting through. There's Carson Hocevar on our inside there, fellow teammate there. Beautiful Brandt paint scheme on that car, and we would continue to actually fade back a little bit behind him as I make a bit of an aggressive 3-wide outside move, trying to make our way forward. But I mean, we have got some pretty aggressive racing early on in this race. I mean, 3x3, we've already seen some 4-wide action as well, but right now the first about 6-7 cars are all single file as we come to lap 8 at this point, and we've still got 4-wide. We're going to go to the inside of Ruggiero in that number 15. We'll say thank you very much, another spot there, but I mean, overall we're still not making a whole lot of headway. Is there 4-wide still behind us, making contact between Ruggiero and Day as we continue kind of hovering in this kind of 25th through 30th kind of running position. I'm not really concerned, however. We've got a quick car in this number 8. We just need to, you know, take our time and kind of let this materialize as we continue on to almost the halfway point at this point. Now we might have an opportunity to jump down. Actually, I thought about it, but I saw how quick that 15 was coming up on us. I thought a little bit better of it and decided to not throw a big block on him and just kind of, you know, let things work itself out right here as we're already now going to see some trouble into turn number 3. Smoke pouring out of the 48 of Carruth, who completely KOs the 17 of Chris Buescher. Crash, caution, 48 done. Carruth's day comes to an end as the caution flies. Everybody pits for tires and fuel. Ty Gibbs loses 6 spots. We gain 3 up to P25, and most importantly for us on the inside. But first big incident of the day, we'll get back underway, and somehow I managed to get hit with the restart glitch. And yeah, there goes everything. There goes all the progress that we made, which wasn't a lot of progress to begin with, but we are going to drop down outside of the top 30, just trying to stay out of the way. I know I don't have to get out of the way, but it's just usually me staying in the way creates such a massive stack up with the AI, and it kind of breaks up the pack. I just don't want to do that. So that's why I always pull out of line, and we always, unless we're at the very back, we're always still going to have somebody behind us that's going to be willing to push us, and we'll be able to stay connected to this main pack of cars now. But this race has not gotten off to an easy start for us, to say the least, as the 6 now of Christian Eckes leads the way as we look to the inside of the 99 of Chandler Smith as well. Ruggiero, again, who started on the front row, now outside of the top 35. How about Chase Purdy and that Bama buggies here? It's like a home race for that sponsor as we'll pass them through this tri-oval down to the line. 8 laps to go in stage 1. Alex Bowman, he's had a bit of a rough season so far. Things haven't quite gone how he would like as we continue to kind of watch those big names like him, and as well as Chase Elliott now, as we got a big push from Logano, and it actually shot me to the inside of the 3 of Austin Hill, and he hangs me out. So we're going to drop even further back now as Logano's going to clear us into turn 3. We are at least not going to get cleared by the 98, so we'll kind of hang in line, but I still wouldn't get the draft. So as they came out of turn 4, they all migrated back up, so I would end up getting cleared by the 98 and the 99, and we're down to P38 here with 6 laps to go. It has not been the first stage that we expect from ourselves here as we continue to lap 16, 5 to go. The 16 of Andres Perez out in front briefly. Now it goes to the 43 of Noah Gregson. I'm still struggling to get some draft help here as we wait and wait for the 99 to go by. The 32 of Day as well as Chase Elliott are all going by as well. Chase Elliott, don't really expect to see him running back here at Talladega, but I'm not going to let him in. I'm like, bro, I've been waiting to get some genuine slipstream, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to be taking your lane here, and then this is my draft. And fortunately now I realize we got to make some aggressive moves, and you're going to see me jump 3 wide to the outside, or 2 wide to the outside. And now we should be able to seriously make some headway as Corey Heim leads the way. Now we're 3 wide on the outside there. Chandler Smith really forced it on his Trackhouse teammate of Chase Purdy as we head down this front stretch. Trackhouse Racing, really interesting dynamic right now, of course, with the downgrade they've made. And Chandler Smith's not been running so hot. Chase Purdy is a rookie, not been running very well. But Tyler Reddick, he's still in the conversation right now in the playoff bubble, which is very impressive and shows you that, you know, Tyler Reddick is very capable of wheeling a car that's just overall not that good. And he continues to at least keep his name in the conversation. Now, while that lasts for the remainder of the regular season, I feel like the just, lack of equipment in that car is going to unfortunately overtake what he is able to do behind the wheel, but never say never. He could continue to impress us now, as here we are making moves with 2 laps to go, back into the top 30, going for top 25 to the inside of Ryan Preece and my teammate there of Connor Zilish, who's on the outside of the HendrickCars.com number 5 Cadillac Hendrick Motorsports driver of Kyle Larson. 2 wins on the season for him, 2 multi-winners this season, Larson in Vegas and Jesse Love in Phoenix, and that has both come in the last 2 races now as we start the final lap of the stage. I mean, we had 6 different winners in the first 6 races, and now we're finally starting to see some repeat winners, which is going to give a lot of drivers that are trying to point their way into the playoffs a breath of fresh air as we continue to make moves to this outside, down the back, straightaway into the top 20. We have recovered pretty well. Into turn 3, it's Andretti leading the way with the 27 rookie driver of Carson Kowalpol. As we come through 3 off of turn 4, do we force it forward? I don't think we have enough draft up ahead, so we're going to stay put behind the 94 of Parker Retzlaff in his 2nd season of Cup Series racing. Won as a rookie right here last season. To the line, it's going to be stage winner Carson Kowalpol over Noah Gregson and his Andretti teammate of Bubba Wallace. As the stage ends, we end up P19, which is a pretty solid recovery. Nick Sanchez puts 3 Andretti Global cars of the 4 inside the top 10 there. They are looking strong again, just like they did in Daytona. We're going to be pitting for tires and fuel and getting ready to go green here for stage number 2. The only driver out of this race, it's the 48 of Rajat Karuth, of course, as he is going to take a monumental points hit here today, unfortunately for him, as we get ready to now go green for stage 2. We gain 1 spot, overtaking Parker Retzlaff. Will line up behind this number 5 of Kyle Larson, who's behind the 45 of Ross Chastain, another driver who's kind of in the bubble conversation right now for the playoffs. Stage number 2 underway. Carson Kowalpol leads the way in towards turn number 1. We've got a couple less laps here in stage 2 compared to stage 1, just 18 laps. You got the 84 of Kaz Gralla for the Big Machine Racing team in the field today. You see him as a big stack up on the outside. I tagged the back bumper of the 5 of Larson, and we drop back because of that now as we exit turn 2, heading down this back stretch. We should get a nice suck up to the back of these cars in front of us and be back right here in the conversation. Andres Perez there led some laps earlier in this race. As we're going to make an aggressive move, Larson tries to cover it. We say no, sir. We split through the middle now. We'll get the draft from the Fastenal 17 of Chris Buescher. So much better this season. Buescher and RFK are looking, and they continue. It definitely is not just a couple race, fluke. Buescher has been continuing to be fast for the entirety of this season so far, as we're to the inside of Austin Hill, just following this middle lane, going forward into the top 15 now, as Connor Zilish working his way forward in those Red Bull colors in that number 88 now, as we come out of turn 4 on lap 2, coming to 3. Zilish, he's actually going to jump up in front of us. You see our part-time number 7 car up there in the conversation as well, and Justin Allgaier in the field today. He is expected to actually be retiring at the end of this season from the Xfinity Series full-time, as we're now 4 wide with him as we roll through 1 and 2. At his age, pretty brave to actually, do a Talladega race at this point now, this late in his career, as now Zilish loses momentum. We split through. Thank you very much. We've had some very, very heated battles with Connor Zilish over the last couple of races in Las Vegas. He didn't make things easy for us. We had, of course, a bit of a battle going on with him at Phoenix as well. Preece loses a tire, and it's going to be the 2nd race in a row where it might be race over. Cautions out. He runs into his teammate of Bubba Wallace as Corey Heim leads over Kowalpol, Byron Logano, and Gregson. Everybody's actually going to elect to stay on the racetrack, and Preece is done. Ryan Preece's day comes to an end. That's 2 back-to-back races. He is very fortunate. He's got that Daytona 500 win to rely on. Now, keep in mind, and this should not happen, Preece should easily be in the top 30 in points this season, but do keep in mind, you cannot make the playoffs with the win if you're not in the top 30 in the standings. Perfect example of that is the driver that won this race last season, Parker Retzlaff, in that number 94. Of course, he did not make it into the top 30 in the standings. He ends up not making the playoffs as we head into turn 1. Lap 7 of 18, and on the far outside, the 51 of Justin Haley going backwards with the 22 Penske Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang of Joey Logano, as we now get right up to the back of Bubba Wallace, trying to not push him, because if you push a car on a restart, it slows you down a lot, so you just don't want to make contact there with your front bumper onto their back bumper. Now we got help coming from Nick Sanchez potentially, but we have officially broken into the top 10 for the first time here today in Talladega. And now this Junior Motorsports Dale Earnhardt Incorporated number 8 font is working its way forward now through 3 and 4. Here we go, approaching 10 laps to go, passing the 2 of Gilliland. Now into the top 5. Carson Kvapil right there in the middle lane on our outside. Byron to the lead, but he's left the door wide open for the 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang of Chris Buescher. Byron ends up being 3 wide on the top as we came down the back straightaway. He's going backwards, and now Bubba Wallace leaves the door open. He's side by side with his Andretti teammate. Speaking of Andretti, Sanchez lined up with me as well, and that number 26 to push us forward. Not to my back bumper. He's closing now through the tri-oval. I would love if he would get to my bumper and actually push us, but it looks like it's going to be finally into turn 1, where he gets connected in that Gamebridge Honda Civic, and now into turn 1 will clear the number 27 of Kvapil right to the back of the 17 Fastenal Ford of Buescher. Now, how long do we wait? The answer is we're not waiting. We want to be leading this race. We want to be in control, as now down the back straightaway towards turn 3, looking for the move. Here we go. Just got no help. It's not going to work yet, but now Buescher way up the racetrack, but I still have no help, as we are now officially leading this race as we exit turn 4, clear to the frontier in this Junior Motorsports number 8 Next Level Racing Cadillac. They're 4 wide behind us. Here comes all of Andretti, it feels like, with the 27, the 26, but now GMS's Parker Retzlaff right behind us as well with 8 laps to go in stage 2. Great racing here today in Talladega. This is so much fun when the AI put on a show like this, as now Retzlaff gets connected to my back bumper. We got 6 laps of fuel. We cannot make it to the end of stage 2. We are going to have to pit, hoping for a caution. There it is. Logano blows a tire into the outside wall. Caution out. Everybody can now pit for tires and fuel and be able to race hard for what's only going to be a few laps of racing remaining in stage 2. We do not lose the lead in the pits. A great pit stop from this 8 team. We're going to go back racing with 4 laps to go, and we have a Junior Motorsports teammate behind us lined up, the number 7 Brandt Cadillac there of Justin Allgaier. On the outside, it's Retzlaff with help from Sanchez as we go off into turn number 1 now, and obviously at this point, it's pretty well just kind of cover the inside lane and make sure no one gets to our inside. Of course, we might see some runs generate from the middle or the top as well. However, when you're leading, I mean, it's a lot easier to control the race, obviously, but in this game, and in all of the NASCAR Heat games, and when it comes to super speedway racing, the lanes, the way they come, they're pretty easy to cover off, and basically, you know, the only time that they can really catch you off guard is if you have 2 lanes side by side coming at the same rate of speed and like they're dead even with each other, because at that point you have to choose one to cover and then the other one's going to get the run, and that's when you become vulnerable. But it doesn't happen all the time. It's not very common, but it is possible. Could happen right here today, as now here comes Chase Purdy in that Trackhouse 00. I'm sticking with and relying on Justin Allgaier to push me back forward. Now Purdy is about to have Christopher Bell to help him as we head down this back straightaway. Now lap 17 of 18, approaching the final lap of racing in stage number 2. And actually, sorry, Purdy had dropped back, so Bell had now moved up to the lead of the outside lane, and he's got his Joe Gibbs teammate. So now it's Junior Motorsports 1-2 on the bottom. It's Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2 on the outside, coming to the white flag. If that was the final lap right there, it's a photo finish, and it would go to Christopher Bell. But now the white flag in stage 2 is underway, and in our rear view mirror, I saw Brent Cruz forced it 3 wide up the middle on Jesse Love and broke up the Toyotas, and that was all she wrote. We would be on cruise control after that. So down through the tri-oval, now coming to the green checkered, we're going to take stage number 2, a playoff point, and 10 points to our name for the regular season championship battle that we're right in the heat with Kyle Larson and our Junior Motorsports teammate of Connor Zilish. Both names I just mentioned, no stage points. We just gained a good 10 points on them right there. So we're going to pit for 4 tires again and feel and get ready to try and finish the deal for this Dale Earnhardt Incorporated number 8 font and finally get it back to victory lane at Talladega. as we get ready to go green for the start of Stage 3, the third and final stage. No shuffling of positions in the pit lane, and the green flag is out. It's going to be a little over 20 laps of racing to go here from Talladega, and I am confident that we can make this thing happen as we kick this thing off now. And obviously, we want to be able to maintain control of this race for the entirety of the stage. We've got Hendrick Motorsports, Chase Elliott just behind as we exit turn 2. And I mean, of course, we talked about him at the beginning of the episode and, you know, everything kind of going on there. And right now he's setting himself up well for a solid day. Of course, strategy at this type of race, specifically in the video game, doesn't matter. It's not going to come down to anything. So Alan Gustafson, you know, he gets a break today, but he's got 2 back-to-back road courses coming up, and we know Chase Elliott is very competitive on the road courses. Alan Gustafson is going to be crucial to make sure he makes the right strategy calls in the next 2 races at Mid-Ohio as well as Road America. Now is actually Chase Elliott's going to catch me off guard out of turn 4 and jumps up to the middle. I thought he was pretty committed to me. I was completely wrong. He passes us. We've got help, thankfully, from Retzlaff to save us. He hit me so hard he actually damaged my rear bumper, as now Elliott jumps down in front of us, so he takes the lead of this race. Zane Smith got up here, and then just as quick as he got up here, he dropped back, as I now got to the back of the 9, pull back to the inside through turns 3 and 4. Like I said, we want to be in control, I mean, at all costs, basically, here today. And here comes Retzlaff again down this front straightaway to push us forward now with 20 coming to 19 laps to go. Now we'll clear this Napa Auto Parts Cadillac here through the tri-oval, crossing the stripe. 19 laps remain now as we continue to now as well get ready for green flag pit stops that are not terribly far away. We've still got a little ways to go, so we don't have to worry. Through the tri-oval, spinning goes the 15 of Ruggiero. Hard impact into the outside while the 98 gets involved and the caution flies. And we're all going to stay on the racetrack here because we're not quite in the fuel window yet. So Ruggiero will pit. I don't know if his day is over. We're about to find out, but nonetheless, we are going to stay out and get ready to go green here late in stage number 3. I say late, about halfway through stage 3. We're back racing here from Talladega, and based off the track map, I would say Ruggiero is still racing. So with 15 laps to go, he can make it on fuel. You can do 12 to 13 laps basically at the maximum. So he would still have to pit, and if we pit, he would be all out on his own and no draft. He would not even lap us basically, so that would be really beneficial. That's beneficial to know that, okay, even if Ruggiero stays out and goes long, he's not going to lap us. That's not necessarily going to impact our race, because even if a caution came out after we pit and before he does, he would still have to pit. We would no longer have to pit, but we are in full control. Look at the gap we've got right now on Retzlaff. I mean, we are looking like Dale Jr. from back in the day in this number 8, where he would control the pace at Talladega. But here comes a huge run from Bubba Wallace. He's got help from the 54 of Ty Gibbs. Here comes Christopher Bell. I didn't even try to block that one. They went right up to the wall. They had a huge amount of speed, and here comes my former teammate and season 4 champion of Christopher Bell. We side draft his teammate of Gibbs to separate the 2 front runners now, and that's going to put Wallace vulnerable on the run into turn number 3. Does he cover it off? He comes down. Yes, he does. He takes command, and hold on, he's kind of leaving the door open, and as we came out of turn 4, I was able to get up the inside here as we come through this tri-oval now. So once again, Bubba Wallace, he takes the lead, but we take it back here now as we approach 13 laps to go here from this Geico 500 at Talladega Super Speedway. Now as Bell would hang me out and go up there with his teammate of Gibbs into turn 3, and now I've got to rely on the number 2 Penske Ford Mustang of Gilliland. Cars in the wall. It's Retzlaff, Elliott. They all came together. Caution surprisingly gonna come out. So now we're gonna pit, and we barely, I mean, we had the lead by like a foot on Christopher Bell, if that, when the caution came out. And now I am always really bad at knowing what to take at a super speedway, and I would make a mistake. I just gave up 13 positions in the pits by taking 4 tires and fuel. Meanwhile, the AI only took 2. So we dropped now to P14. We're lucky they didn't take no tires, because if they took no tires, we would have dropped even further. But 2 tires, relegates us down to the 14th position in a shot to the back of the 81. Fortunately, clear down. That might have just saved our race right there. Getting down to the inside into turn 1, there was a stack up between the 32 and the 55 of Day and Gray. Now 4 wide as we come through out of turn 2. The field is wasting no time. This race has had a really high intensity from the drop of the green flag, as we've seen 3x3, 4 wide racing as well. We're 3 wide on the inside right now of Hocevar, but in contact with our Junior Motorsports teammate into turn number 3. Christopher Bell leads the way. Ryan Blaney's up there in the conversation. Ty Gibbs as well. Jesse Love's trying to get himself inserted into this conversation with less than 10 laps to go. Will this stay green to the very end? We're going to slice to the inside, make it 4 wide again through this tri-oval on Hocevar. We've got the pole from this 84 of Grawla. We'll get to the inside of him as well. Back into the top 10. We're making moves and we're making them quick. We have still got a very real chance to get back up and in command of this race. Now through on the 84 to the inside of Reddick and his former teammate of Ryan Blaney, and now this will put us into the top 5. Christopher Bell, he jumps up to the far outside and he would regret it because he would sink like a rock behind myself. Me now move through into P4 and everyone's jumping up high. Gregson leads over Gibbs. We stay on this inside lane into turn number 3. We'll pass at number 2 of Todd Gilliland and get right to the back of the 54. We've got our teammate of Carson Hocevar lined up with us to help as we exit turn 4. Gibbs moves up a lane all the way to the outside wall, and now Gregson into turn 1 leaves the door open as well. Here we go with help from Carson Hocevar. Back to the lead of this race down the back straightaway here, coming to 5 laps to go from Talladega, and you guys have given me control of this race. We're going to make you regret it today now, as we have got that 4 lined up behind us, but he is under very real pressure from the 20, the 54. They are 3 wide, 2 rows deep right there, and they would all fight back into turn 1. Gibbs to my outside. They're 4 wide behind us, and you can see that Hocevar on the inside of that. They're all stacking up now. There's crash. There's a wreck in the back. Caution is out, and we barely again have the lead. That would save us. If that caution comes out 2 seconds later, Ty Gibbs is leading, and we would be restarting on the outside with no chance to probably win. It was Reddick who goes around in turn 3, collecting a few others, bringing out the caution, and now it's going to be 2 laps of racing. Myself versus Season 3 champion of Ty Gibbs. The green flag is out. Toyota on the outside lined up with Gregson and Gibbs. Myself and my teammate Cadillac lined up on the inside with Carson Hocevar. As I'm kind of backing these guys up here. I'm trying to make sure I don't get too far out in front to where I can allow that outside to generate a way better run down this back straightaway. But nonetheless, we clear the 54 and he's got 0 momentum now. And now it's becoming real. We might be able to do what Dale Earnhardt Jr. wanted this weekend and get this Dale Earnhardt Incorporated 8 font to victory lane again. In Talladega, here comes Christopher Bell. We leave our teammate of Hocevar because look at the run on that Yahoo Toyota Camry. We cover him off. Here comes Tricon's Taylor Gray into the conversation. 3 wide in the middle, but he stalls out. We continue to cover the 20. Earnhardt last won in this DEI 8 font back in October of 2004 for Talladega, and now we have a chance to do this over 20 years later as we come through to the line. White flag in the air and the crowd is starting to get excited. Here comes Taylor Gray for Tricon Racing into turn 1, Tricon Garage I should say. Now as we roll through 1, he gets to my right rear. I've committed to this inside. I think this is where we need to be as we head down this back straightaway. Now Gray making some ground. He jumps up. Here comes Cruz. I cover off the 31. We jump back down in front of Hocevar, who's going to commit. He's going to push us as Gray has half a car length down this back straightaway into turn 3 and 4 for the final time in Talladega, and we edge out in front of that 55 and clear as we exit turn 4. The crowd roaring. They know what's happening as we come through the tri-oval. Over 20 years later, the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated 8 font will go to victory lane in Talladega for our second win of the season. Unbelievable. 3 consecutive races of repeat winners, and now we get at least 2 wins on this season, a multi-win season guaranteed, and it comes in Talladega, a track that we've had success at in the past. We've already won at Talladega with Junior Motorsports, but now we have done it in a way more prominent way of doing it with this font change for this season after the lawsuit, of course, of last season, and here we are now getting to celebrate in this number 8 down this front straightaway, burning it down in front of the roaring crowd. What a race. I mean, from stage 1 right to the checkered flag. It was incredible. As Carson Hocevar makes it a 1-2 for our team. How about Kaz Gralla? Top 5 for the Big Machine part-time racing team right there. As you see as well, the rest of the finishing order. Chase Elliott, by the way, oh boy, a rough effort for him. He ends up 35th behind Zilish, in front of Allgaier and Barry. Reddick, Priest, Caruth all out. Elliott, again, was just a terrible day. We now take an 8-point lead on the regular season championship against Kyle Larson. Zilish regained some big points on him as well. As you see now, the playoff grid is we're about to go into 2 back-to-back road course races with Road America and Mid-Ohio. It's going to be an exciting stretch of races because they're usually the 2 more exciting road courses on the calendar. Logano currently the last one in the playoffs. Chase Elliott, I mean, he's over 20 points out right now. He's got some work to do, but he's got a great chance to get himself back into the mix going into Road America. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.